So if you had a couple takeaways from last week, what would those takeaways be?
For me personally, or as the new agent launch as a whole?
Yeah, new agent launch.
I definitely like it. I think it's really helpful, especially for new agents. And I know there's a few people in the call who are like um on the not older side, but who are like starting new, like later in their career, I guess. And so a lot of things are, especially with like software and getting around things, like I personally find it easier just because, I'm with that all the time.
Yep.
But I think it's really helpful just to go through everything, especially with Brevity. There's so many like aspects to it
Yeah.
and just kind of, I don't know, like a crash course. But so I think it's super helpful.
Yeah. What action steps did they ask you to take between now and
So it's to call your sphere. I'm definitely behind on that just because I didn't have it uploaded, but William uploaded it for me once I sent it to him last week. So
Yeah, I
that's
saw it right
my,
in.
yeah, my personal goal is to get through that this week just because I'm a little behind. Um, and so that was the main one. And then I think it was also to set up one appointment, one, five nurtures, and something else.
good? I'll look at I'll look at the spreadsheet they send me every Monday to see so I can stay on top of it.
Yeah. Oh, there was also their goal for people were to shadow or host an open house, which I was able to do last week. So that was the other goal that they wanted. Yeah, I think the only things that I need to catch up on are reaching out to Sphere.
Nice.
Oh, and home previews. That's the other thing.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the two things for me.
We're gonna go through this power up and just kind of do some housekeeping. So Friday, of course, did you make it on the all partner call?
Yes, I did.
Good, good, good. If you arrive 10 or so minutes early, did they let you in panelist mode or did you get stuck into webinar mode?
No, I got stuck in webinar.
Um, yeah, depending on when you get there, only like 300 and so many people get into panelist mode. And just to be on panelist mode doesn't mean you're going to have to speak or,
No, yeah, I saw that you spoke.
yeah, but that's not what panelist mode basically just gives you access to the entire call versus the person who's speaking. So for me, it's just more energy.
Mhm.
Um, but Friday's call is really good. You can, peruse last calls by going over to this QR code or just going to ourplace.com where it says
Yeah,
calls and events.
I think I've watched two or three.
Yeah, good. So you got a flavor for what is out there.
Yeah.
Um, we have a call night, which is Thursday the 15th, from 4 to 6. Um, I will I will see what I can do about creating a call night in the market center. Um, I think I can make it happen. I just got to go grab my kids early and bring things for them to do. But the goal will be to get into the market center at 3:30, quarter to 4, and from 4 to 6, do a powerful call night on I believe it's Thursday the 15th. Um, of course, the all agent only call on Tuesday.
Mhm.
Is that Tuesday or when? Yeah, Tuesday. And of course, this weekend's Friday call.
Yeah, I won't be able to join the Tuesday one just because I have a doctor's appointment at 11 and at 2:45.
Yeah, okay.
And then the 15th, the only thing I have that I wanted to let you know was the NJMLS new member orientation at 10,
Okay. That's the 15th. Oh, okay.
the 15th.
That's
Yeah.
usually till like, I don't know, it's a lot. It's like 4 or 5 hours, something like that.
Yeah, it's a little bit. And then I also have, um, wait, no, that one's only an hour and a half. The Thursday, I have one February, Thursday the 5th for the North Central Jersey Association. That one's like 5 hours.
Oh, okay. So then you'll be able to do call night on the 15th.
Yes.
Good. Um, I want to take a minute and go through these productivity winners. The productivity winners for the contest. Um, it's interesting how, let me just go to our place. Um, move this stuff out of the way. So I was looking at the contest and realizing that um, not a lot of people, right? Uh, at least from our team, were able to capitalize on the contest, right? But when you open up the winners here, like I went to open this up not to look at the winners, but to see how we fared, how we ended up, the people on our team. And what it does is just shows the winners, which is apropos, right? The contest is over, and of the people who participated in the contest, 443 people were they won three components of the contest. 204 people won five components of the contest. That's
And
pretty
sorry, what contest was this? Oh,
well,
production contest.
yeah, so we have
Before.
a production contest. We'll probably have another one starting March or April. They're probably winding up for it now, and they'll announce it probably in a month or so. And it's usually a 10-week contest. And the way it works is if you win three or more um, components, there's like six options to choose from. Out of the six options, if you pick five, if you win three of your five, you get to go to Arizona. Um, the room is free, the event is free. You pay for your airfare, and you get to go to the winner's circle. Um, and it's a 1 day event. You fly in the night before, you network with some other place agents. And so this time, 443 people will be attending, probably a little bit more. Um, and of the 443, I don't know of the 443, um, but of the people who did it, 204 people actually got five of their components, right? So what that gives them is that gives them $1,000 in place common stock, which should easily be 10, 15, $20,000 when they go public. So that's pretty powerful. So it was interesting that I pulled that up. I didn't mean to pull that up. I was just looking for our results, and now I can't get our results unless I ask, but that's okay. So that's a fun thing to know about. Um, did you know that there are new courses on Place Academy pretty much all the time? So I would go to the Place Academy at ourplace.com and look into that. Um, I think one of the biggest themes that one and any agent could stick around is mindset. Um, you first have to conquer your mindset in order to conquer this business, period. Just the way we look at things. Um, you know, the easiest example is, open houses. For years, I witnessed, and I wasn't far behind them, where the open house was more of a, you put your signs out 2 hours ahead of time, maybe 2 hours if you're lucky. You get to the open house, 15, 20 minutes ahead of time if you're lucky. Sometimes you get there right on the nick of time. Um, and you host your open house, and that's it. You a couple follow-ups with buyers afterwards. Uh, Whereas when you run it, what we used to call a mega open house, which is the same plays out of the playbook for place, um, you're prospecting days before. you're circle prospecting the neighborhood. You're, if weather permits and you got the gumption to do it, you door knock. You put your signs out, in the morning, early morning. You use balloons if you can get balloons. I have I don't know if it's still should be in the office maybe. I have an air tank. Um, I think it's still in the office. If not, you just, you spend $5 or $10 and you go get balloons and you put them on you put out, as many. In fact, I'll order them this week. I have to reorder. They got all messed up. So you put on you put out a dozen signs, as many as you can humanly put out, not just one or two. It's not because people need directions to the open house. It's because you want to impress upon the neighbors that you're an aggressive agent, that you do things over the top. You want to leave a lasting impression in that person's mind. Marketing play for the week. Use the 3H framework to decide what to post. Now, I'm not really big on social media. I advise that, I mean, I do social media, but it's more for, it's inconsistent with business, and it's more, I post personal stuff, as you could probably see when you go to my social medias, right? Um, but it's a really good way to build a presence. For years, I did post, probably not in this 3H framework, right? Um, but I posted enough where people know. There's a one really good process. I've shared it before. Um, Once a week, call it Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. Every week, you could take a picture of a house. You could take a picture of one of our listings. You could take a generic picture of a nice house. It should probably be in New Jersey so that people can identify. It shouldn't be like with palm trees or anything like that. It shouldn't be a California modern, house on the West Coast. Um, and then you go into our database and you do a search through the magnifying glass for listings, and then you see, you know, get a property that three or four people in our database it matches, and then post a picture, and um, in your comments, attention Facebook family, you know, um, special announcement or alert. Next, and you always separate your sentences and paragraphs with a space so people can, it's easy to read, not one big long on run on paragraph. Have a family, have two families looking for a 3-bed, 2-bath. Could be a split level or a colonial, between 400 and 600, whatever you put this post together and you post something like that different every week, but you do it every week. You do it every week. You do it every week. And what happens is you're subliminally planting in the minds of people in your sphere that, oh, so and so works with a lot of buyers. You know, they're actively engaged in real estate. But this 3H, helpful, teach something valuable, human, show something personally, your personality, behind the scenes, and then hyper local. It's a real easy thing to do, right? That would be 3 separate posts a week. If you could do that and then add in the, hey, when you're posting something helpful, just a helpful hint, you know, um, you can go to chat and ask ChatGPT. If I wanted to use here, I'm going to do it real fast. Watch this. Let's go to NJRE Design Studio. Act as a real estate sales professional, having sold 30, 40 homes every year for the last 20 years, and having an expertise in social media marketing with respect to your business. Give me a game plan, a marketing posting plan that will include, this what I want today? No, it's right here. A cadence for the 3H framework. Something helpful, teaching something of value. 2, human, showing personality and behind the scenes. And 3, something hyper local, highlighting something in my local market of choice. Add in there every week the post about buyers you're working with who are looking for specific properties. Create a trying to think of the word. Create a yep, rhythm in which I should post every week, each of these posts, and then for the next 4 weeks for each of these posts, give me the actual script to post. Make it professional, make it fun, helpful, human, and hyper local. Ready, set, go. Actually, do this. Ask me any questions before giving me your response. And then here come the questions. Your market, right? So what market are we going to do? We're going to do, give me 2 towns. Anyone.
Rockaway and Denville.
Platform priority. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Bam. So here comes your full plan. Schedule. I mean, it's gonna, unbelievable. 4-week content. Is it gonna give you pictures and everything? Anyway, let's let that work. We'll come back to that in a minute. So it's really as easy as that. Where is my, okay, I'll put this back into play. And so that's really, in my opinion, something that you should probably take advantage of and spend, you know, 15, 20 minutes a day doing that. Add that into your schedule. Starting strong in 2026, the compounding effect, the daily non-negotiables. Our super duty must be to rekindle the magic of life. For this, we now declare we shall practice joy and gratitude. Brendan Bouchard. Anyone want to share gratitudes? I'm just grateful to be alive today. I'll get that out of the way.
Same.
I would say I'm grateful to not be as sick as I thought I was going to be.
Good. That's a good thing. Why January matters most. Every action you take in January doesn't just add to your results, it multiplies them. When you start early, your daily efforts have more time to build on each other, just like the compounding interest. The calls, the follow ups, the habits. You build your, um, like it says, right, the snowball effect. I've been the beneficiary of this, and I've also been the cautionary tale of not getting out of the gate strong. It's vital that you get out of the gate strong, especially when you're new in your career. Nothing kills this career so easily than a new agent who gets off to a slow start. The reverse happens, right? The reverse of that compounding effect happens, and in 6 months you've closed one or two deals, and within that 6 month period, you've thought at least once, it'd be crazy if you didn't, to say, I got to go get a job, right? I got to go back to doing XYZ. What am I going to do? Instead of being, immersed in action, you're starting to doubt your whole game plan. The earlier you start, the more powerful your results will become. Simple. Time and consistency are the secret ingredients to massive growth. What do we got here?
All compounding is returns to the power of time. The exponent does all the heavy lifting. Your time commitment, your consistency commitment is going to be the key to your compounding. So where is your effort going right now in this industry? Most of us focus on the small number, right? Right? Well, I guess the big number, but not the little number in the mathematical formula, which is the exponent. Consistency, day in and day out, day in and day out. We have this big burst of activity one day, and then we take off the second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day, because we just crushed it on Monday. So Tuesday clearly doesn't matter. Remember, the exponent, which is time and endurance, does all the heavy lifting. All the power and all the wealth is tied up in endurance. So, what activities that you can do every single day will compound over time?
So it's interesting he used the word endurance twice. Has everyone ever heard the book Endurance?
No, I haven't.
So I read this book, I don't know, 15, 16 years ago, called Endurance. It's a book about Sir Ernest Shackleton. Anyone know who Ernest Shackleton was? Ernest Shackleton was an explorer and lived in the era of, like, when explorers were rock stars, right? There weren't rock stars. It was like the explorer of the time was the big, and explorers would challenge other explorers. And the short version of the story is, um, he and another, I forget the other guy's name, of course, um, had, I guess, for lack of a better term, a challenge to go out to the Antarctic, right? And Ernest Shackleton prepared, got his crew. The other guy barely prepared, got his crew, and did everything they needed to do, get their food, their clothes, blah blah blah. And they both set out at the same time. And the other guy would go in good weather, he'd go, 30, 40 miles a day. If it was snowing or raining, they would pull back and not go. Maybe they would be hawked in for, well, we just did 30 miles and we'll wait today, you know. And then they, maybe if it was snowing, they'd only go 10 miles one day because they couldn't go the full 30 miles or whatever. Um, it was very inconsistent. Ernest Shackleton, on the other hand, I think it was 17 miles a day. Is it 17 mile or the 22 mile? There's an old saying. Let me just see real fast. It might be the 22-mile march or the 17-mile march. Is it famously the 22-mile march or the 17-mile march? I think it's 22-mile march. So he would go, whatever it is, I think it's 22 miles, but let's see, it's coming up on chat. 17 miles, and the 22 mile different historical. They both come up. Both 17-mile and 22-mile march come up for different historical causes, and one of them talks about endurance. Anyway, I think it's the 22-mile march, 17-mile. I think it's 17-mile march. They would go 17 miles a day on perfect days, on rainy days, on cold days, on blistery days, on hot days. I mean, there's no hot in the Antarctic, right? 17-mile march. And they would just do the 17-mile day every day. Shackleton's group, and the other group would go 40 miles a day, 25 miles a day, 30 miles a day. They might not go for one day. Shackleton's group not only got to their, point A, they got to go point A and then go back, turn around and go back, right? They got to call it the North Pole. I don't know where it was. So early with so much extra food that they started leaving food for the other team. The other team was running out of food and men were dying. Shackleton got back to the home base, went there and came back and was already at a spa getting a pedicure. Obviously, they didn't have that back then. But, and these people were dying off and, a skeleton crew returned, hungry. And so, that consistency is really key. It's a good book. The Power of Daily Non-Negotiables. Success isn't about big one-time wins. It's about the, simple consistency of the everyday, right? Take 5 minutes and write it down. What are your 2 to 3 daily non-negotiables? Anyone want to share? Do you have any non-negotiables? All right, we could do it another time. I would suggest thinking about that and putting them in your calendar. Those calendars will be here any day now, by the way, for
us. Okay.
And yeah, I mean, they're saying lead generation, lead follow-up, skill practice. I think, especially for anyone in this business, but especially for new people, not necessarily in that order, skill practice should be one of your non-negotiables. If you're not, I mean, I just look at the sports guys. I always go to Kobe Bryant, right? Like, there was an old thing we did about 6, 7 years ago. We were doing it for a few years. It's like, practice like Kobe. Like, he was the first to arrive at the gym and the last to leave. He had just read any story or anecdote about Kobe Bryant. He was the best, some would say, right? Of his era. But he had this consistency of follow-up, and anywhere, in any space, if you will, music, art, acting, business, finance. And Warren Buffett, arguably the best stock investor of all time. When I told my mother she should buy a share or two of Buffett's stock, Burke A. I think it was 65,000. Um, Burke A stock. Oh, that's B. Let's go to A stock. Yeah. And so it's crazy. By that consistency and the compound effect, um, Burke stock, um, and this was, I want to say, God, I'm just trying to see. It doesn't look like it was like all the way back. Yeah, maybe it was in 2002, 2003, somewhere around 2000. Yeah, about 23 years ago. Oh, you should buy this stock. Today, 743,000 a share. It's just there's no other. I don't think there's any other stock that's it's the best and most strongest stock that's ever existed, right? And that's from that compound effect of just consistency, right? I would practice. I would put that into my schedule every single day. Um, and then I would share your non-negotiables. I would share it. What are your two? These are the things that they're suggesting, right? What are your 2 to 3 non-negotiables? Speak it out loud. Speak it to your crew. Speak it to your spouse, your family members. Speak it to us. Share it. You know, there's a reason why Alcoholics Anonymous is one of the biggest habit forming changes, habit changing organizations. I read a book on this. I think it was The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. Power of Habit, really good book. And he
I
talks.
just started reading Atomic Habits. I don't know if you've
Atomic
read that.
Habit is a good book. I have that one too.
I
Uh,
also got The Millionaire Real Estate Agent.
yep, the MREA, good book. Uh, One of the reasons why that's so successful is because you're sharing. Other people are sharing. That sharing effect, the sharing their experience, strength, and hope. Right. Um, how do you think about your business? Share this stuff. Share your mindset. You're going to hear some other things, and then share, of course, your challenges, your doubts. You're going to find that other people probably have the same challenges or doubts too, or have had them, and this is how they dealt with them. AI prompt of the week. I have 3 non-negotiable daily priorities. Insert those priorities. Help me rank them by importance. Wow, that's interesting. Can I copy this? I cannot. So I want to go out of here for a second. Let me move that out. So here is the posting. This is like what I ask it for, a 4-week plan. What is this? 3-week 3, or did I go 3 weeks? So this is 3 weeks, 4 posts a week. It gives me the script. I'm going to share this with you guys.
Yes.
I mean, insert your own pictures, your own towns. What are we doing here? This is okay. Um, that's it. I'm going to wrap this up. Your daily promise. What are you committed to over the next 24 hours to move your business forward? Anyone want to share?
Confirming a time. I spoke to the agent, so confirming the time for the Weehawken buyers.
You gave them the 2 days.
Yeah, I've been stalking Jalen. I spoke with her on Saturday, and I texted her again on Sunday. She was waiting to hear back from the tenants, and then I spoke to her again. She said they still haven't confirmed, but I'm on her list, and I just told her that I would call her before end of day if I didn't hear from her.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna um, consistently lead generate for no less than 1 hour. I'm gonna also do two AI call coaches. Um,
That was gonna be mine to do
yeah.
3 AI call coaches, 3 to 4.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer in knowing what my metrics are on a daily basis. Um, I'm also a big believer of keeping track of, keeping score. I'll end on this. The time that I started when I was building my business I was actually a broker owner, I moved I had a whole bunch of agents working at my Hoboken office, and I moved the company from Hoboken to Fairfield, and virtually everyone decided not to come, right? Makes sense. They're all from Hoboken. Um, but it was around that same time I started selling real estate versus just renting real estate. And I had a coach, and he told me a few things. I had to practice every day, which I did. I had to keep score. And back then, now today, you can go into Brivity and you can simply put your um, results into the goal section, right, and keep score, which you should do. Um, but I would keep these little yellow sticky pads. I'm trying to see if I have any yellow little sticky pages here. Little post-it notes, right? The 2 by 2 inch post-it note. And every day I would write in calls, contacts, appointments. And it might be, and I was using Mojo so I can see how many calls I made. I would check every contact I make. So 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. So 10, 12, 15, whatever it was a day. How many appointments set? And I would be at my stand up booth like I am now. And to the wall to the left of me, I would put Mondays there, Tuesday next to it, Wednesday next to it, Thursday next to it, Friday next to it, and then underneath it do week 2, and underneath it do week 3, and underneath it, and at the end of the month, I would then tally them all up, take them off, take the last day, and stack them upon all the days before, and I would have this little stack of 20 or so, sometimes 20. Well, it was always about 20, right? Pages, and I would total up for the month. It was really archaic and old fat, like it wasn't digital. And then they would go into a folder, and then I would do that and I just kept track. Now, did I go back and look at them? Not really. I also had these planners, not this particular planner. I was using a week at a glance. It's called Week at a Glance Planner. Um, I forget the manufacturer. I have years. They're probably in my storage container in a box. I have like 8, 9 years of those planners. It was very, very, and there's no. Now there are other elements as to reason why my production and my production has gone down. Market, but primarily my behaviors changed. My focus changed. Instead of focusing solely on that, I focus on growing business and investing and flipping and pouring into other agents. I didn't get on calls like this, right? I just got right on the phones at 8:58 every morning. I was on the phones calling. All right. On that note, we'll end the call. Anybody have any questions?